Out of Space is an online, multiplayer, co-op game about temporarily living on a spaceship to clean it up. Except there is a ton of aliens trying to stop you, spreading their gunk all over the place. Life is hell and this is war! Well, what they fail to mention is that Out of Space has diabolical mechanics, which I love to hate. I love how passionate I feel about winning, but I hate how much of a disappointment I am when losing. Allow me to explain. First, let's cover how to play. You're dropped off on a ship with one room powered by a battery. You can place your first two items, a recycler and a pumpkin garden. Then you get to work, giving the entire ship power. The win condition is that each room has a battery. You do not need to clean up every last alien mess, which means you might want to slam that final battery into the slot as fast as possible. Now, the ship is a strict grid layout, so you can't place items wherever you want, and you should be careful about placing them because the rooms can get cramped. It can even block off a hallway if the item is large enough. Or it can get challenging to squeeze around things as you're rushing to and fro. Also, certain items like the pumpkin garden need to be powered. Getting a room powered with a battery is essential for adding better equipment to your ship. More importantly, it will keep the doors from pounding shut right in your face. Without the power to the adjacent room, the door keeps closing, and it can be frustrating when it closes right at the moment you're trying to pass through. While your main task is to power the ship, the secondary goal is to rid it of all the damn aliens. These guys are a real pain in the ass. They take over a whole room and spread their goop all over the floor, so you need to bust into the room and sweep it away as fast as you can. This will temporarily knock out the aliens and create some garbage bags, which you're expected to put into the recycler to get money. It's sickening watching the alien being ground to bits in the recycler, even if I don't like them. It's really gross. You're cranking this wheel and they're turning into bits in there. Ugh. Anyway, you need that money, though, to buy more batteries and equipment. Two things make the aliens a nightmare. First, it's the eggs. They pop, which makes a mess and a new alien. What's worse is that they will grow on a door to a room that you haven't cleaned yet. So they grow in the clean room, waiting to explode and make that mess, which is where the fight happens. You need to keep them back, or else you might lose the room where the battery is. Second, the flying aliens are challenging to deal with. It seems like you can only splash water in them to knock them out, which is pretty tricky to aim. Not only do you have to keep pushing back the aliens, but you also need to keep yourself fed and well rested. If you don't, then you'll fall asleep or worse, start starving. If someone isn't around to help, it's game over. Then there's the upkeep on the pumpkin patch and any other ducts in the house. It's so stressful, bouncing back and forth between the infested rooms and your more livable areas. Out of Space considers one ship to be one game, so you play to finish one ship at a time. There are different ship sizes, with the smallest having 6 rooms and the largest having 12. All the layouts are randomized, so it's different every time. The items you can buy are exciting, but there aren't very many of them. I like the things that augment something that's already there. For example, the family portraits will make it so when one person eats food in a room, it's shared among all of the other people. I wish there was more item diversity though. For example, if you want to rest, there's a couch, an armchair, and a bed. They all do the same thing, but each is a little bit better than the other, which is fine, but if you can finish a level with only an armchair, then what's the point? The powered items are more attractive, with some of them being overpowered. I want to buy them every time I play. What I will say is that you shouldn't underestimate the quarantine spray. It will block a door or a vent from spewing the disgusting alien goo. All that said, the game gives you challenges so you won't always buy the best items. For example, one of the challenges is to win without using a shower on a medium or large ship. Or another example is winning a match without comfortably sleeping. These are meant to be formidable, and I see them as the primary goal of the game. Playing and winning is fun, but with these challenges, there's something to strive for. Also, they reward you with more items and character skins. Anyway, I love the co-op style of Out of Space. It's the kind where you need to rely on each other, calling out your plan to clear a room, and knowing that your friend is going to be there to watch your back. There's enough to do on your own too, but you'll win and fall as a team. No one person can lose it. This is my favorite style for a co-op game. I don't want anyone to dictate all the moves to another person. This is mainly an online game, but I was able to find an online match. The online play worked well, but the only way to speak to another player is with a simple alert. But the premise is simple enough that it works. Out of Space will let you play couch co-op. I enjoyed playing both ways, but when playing on the same screen, you have to be careful. The camera will zoom out quite far if you're at opposite ends of the ship. Still, it's not that much of an issue since I could see what I was doing. Playing alone is okay on a small ship, but even then it's quite tricky. The game gives you a dog to help, but it's not that helpful. The dog brings its own problems, even though they help you fight the aliens. The dog might be my favorite mechanic though, since they're so helpful fighting aliens at a considerable cost. You have to worry about what they're gonna do. You have to feed them the same food you need. Also, they will eat any food or water you leave lying around, which is terribly annoying. Okay, back on topic. Playing solo works, but it can be a real struggle. There are too many things to worry about alone, and on a medium-sized ship, it can be done, but wow, it's an endeavor. There are way too many doors to cover. I struggled for 40 minutes trying to finish the ship by myself, and it was very stressful. Now, my feelings of hate, look, it's not a pure hatred in a way where I don't like the game. It's that Out of Space is one of the most enraging games I've played. I was gnashing my teeth in frustration. Not directly at my wife, even though it was probably her fault. We were both feeling the madness. At times, Out of Space feels insurmountable. There's no way to catch up on all the chores and push back the aliens. Losing a room is just disheartening. It's like a stalemate on the front lines of a war, at least with only 2 people. Endless spawning enemies can have you pulling your hair out. Ducks will be a constant source of alien slime, and doors explode with eggs. It's just that nowhere is safe. So either the generated levels are more difficult because of the layout, or the generation doesn't take into account the number of people playing. Because we played levels that took over an hour to finish, like a small level, versus others that took only 15 minutes. It's not that helpful that the bucket of water is the most essential item you have, and when you start, there's only one place to fill it. So dragging the bucket all the way across to the other side of the ship is painful. Look though, we had more good levels than bad. Also, later items unlock and make it a lot easier. It's just a stiff introduction to the game. So it's hard to continue to play after the first time you get through and you're like, wow, this is really too much to handle. But as you keep playing and unlocking more items, it does get easier. And I had fun. It does create a pleasant party atmosphere even if you are ready to choke each other out. As usual, playing with friends is going to be a lot better than playing with strangers though. Overall, Out of Space is fun, and if you're looking for a more frustrating co-op game to play, you found it. Maybe give your friendship a test, I don't know. The ability to go online will be more appealing than other co-op games, because a lot of other co-op games are just couch co-op. I don't think I would have to force my wife to play again right now. She would do it because the game is excellent, and that's a good sign. Let me know if you lose any friendships or significant others over Out of Space. Thank you, thank you. Out of Space was challenging, but what should I play next? Maybe it won't be as challenging. Thank you very much for watching, and hit the subscribe button, because you know you want to.